what can you give to a fan that is in Japan, in Korea, or even in your city, but cannot attend in a match?
Hello and welcome to SiGMA TV. We're here to bring you some of the biggest developments in the gaming and sports space. As we gear up to our digital conference in June, we'll be providing you with weekly videos where you can get involved and share your thoughts and comments. So if you're a fan of the space or you're looking to learn that a little bit more, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. And joining me now, we'll be taking a look at the impact of COVID-19 and what it's had on the sports industry. We'll be joined by the CEO of the leading fintech and fan engagement platform for the sports industry, Alexandre Dreyfus. Alexander, it's great to talk to you today.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Stuck inside in sunny Malta. How are you?
Same. I'm actually, luckily for me, I'm at the office, but still stuck in the office in Malta. But it's, as you know, it's sunny, so we cannot complain too much.
Exactly. And I want to jump in because around the world, this is the hot topic of interest right now, and especially in the gaming space. I think the first initial impact that people were questioning was sports, the impact COVID-19 would have on sporting events being cancelled around the world. So in your opinion, Alexander, what kind of impact are we expecting this to have on the sport industry?
That's a $1 billion question, actually. For a few reasons. As you know, sports, I mean, there is no matches right now. So that's the first consequences right now. So there is no content anymore, which means that either for you as a fan, you cannot watch it on TV, but for sports betting industry, they more or less lost 95% of their business right now. So that's the first consequences. But for the day after, when we're going to reopen, whatever that means, it means not only that you're going to have matches that's going to rehappen again, and we expect Premier League or Liga or Serie A to start again during the summer, late summer, with a completely different schedule. We know for a fact it will be closed doors, so it means that there will be no fans in the stadium. So that's a big change as well. But you have to foresee that a little bit further. Is most of these clubs are making money or trying to survive with sponsors. But look at the sponsors. Most of the sponsors in the Premier League are sports betting company. All of these guys are going to try to reduce their financial exposure this year because they cannot afford it. Airline companies, I can tell you that the airline companies like Etihad, Qatar Airways, all of these guys that are literally doing zero revenue right now, they're going to have to cut that, and it's 2.2 billion per year. You have hotels company, you have all the sports and the football especially is going to be disrupted by being impacted in every single line of revenue that they have. And that's difficult. And that's where we believe, naively, that their need of interaction with fans is going to be more than ever required.
And you made a good point. This is an extreme paradigm shift. I think everything that people were used to and a lot of high structured business models have had to completely change and develop overnight. So when we look at fan interaction and fan engagement, as you said, are we going to see more opportunities for kind of online and this digital engagement, also potentially esports? How are you seeing this as an area for opportunity?
So I will actually split esports and traditional sports because they are two different of content. And actually in esports, you have the digital sports kind of like a football, FIFA, PES. And then you have like more professional in a way or dedicated esports like Counter-Strike, League of Legends and stuff like this, which are also in the esports category, two different things. I don't think that esports or virtual football, let's say, can compete with traditional sports on TV. There is no way. It's cool. It's nice. It is great for a certain demographics, but it's not for everybody. So this will grow for sure. This will not replace traditional sport for sure as well. In terms of fan engagement, till now, most of the clubs were considering the fans that are in the stadium. And more or less it's 30, 50, up to 90,000 people in Barcelona. In our case, our motto was always, in our business and what we try to build with socials.com and Chili's and the fan tokens was about engaging and monetizing fan engagement, because 99.9% of fans are not in the stadium. Like Barcelona, they have 300, 400 million fans in the world, and they have only 50, 80,000 people in the stadium. So, and that's true for every team or every big team. So they have a massive global fan base, but they always focus on the one that were making the noise in their stadium, and that's fair. But now, 100% of their fans are not in the stadium. So they have to engage a completely different strategy in terms of how they're going to not only engage, but also monetize their fans globally. What can you give to a fan that is in Japan, in Korea, or even in your city, but cannot attend in a match? To give him value and to give him this loyalty towards the club. And that's what we've seen. I mean, first, that's what we started to do 2 years ago. But most importantly, that's what we are seeing right now, that the clubs are completely re-envisioning their strategy because they need that.
So if we look at the fact that, as you've correctly said, re-envisioning the strategy and moving forward, I think if everyone looks back and everyone remembers, for example, the first football game they went to, you know, you would go and potentially you would get your parents to put a little accumulator bet on, and then you would go to the stadium, and it was an amazing experience. Do you think we will eventually get back to that point where you will see a full-out arena, a full-out stadium?
I mean, yes, of course, yes, but not soon, because I'm the pessimistic / pragmatic guy on this one, and I'm an optimist person. You know, I'm an entrepreneur, so for me everything is green, and the more risk the better. But if I'm the CEO of Juventus, and I want to have fans in my stadium because it's a revenue stream, because it's also the that's why football was made, by the way. It was for the fans first, not for the people playing. But the reality is, you don't want to have the responsibility to actually allow you to go. You have Jessica that she's allowed to go, but next to you there is potentially someone at risk, and we don't know if you are safe or he or she is safe. And I will go even further: is people who have VIP box, company who have VIP box, are they going to be keen to send their employee in public venue? You know, because of insurance policies, blah blah blah. I'm not sure. And if I go a little bit further, and that's the sad part of it, is if I'm the CEO of Juventus, I'm not going to let a fan going close to Ronaldo and take a picture and touch Ronaldo, because I don't want a fan potentially to give something to Ronaldo that eventually will kill or damage or expose his mother or a friend or another player. So all these small things that for you and me were common sense and were normal are not going to be normal anymore, at least for the next 12 to 18 months. Depends on how the virus, the vaccine, and everything is working around. So this is a bit sad, because we're going to lose this incredible relationship between the fans and the players and the team they love. So we're going to have to replace that with some more digital stuff. Will it come back to it? Yes. But the same way that the 9/11 changed the way that for you and me 20 years ago, we would have loved the fact that you cannot take a bottle of water in a plane, and yet you can today. You can't, and it's literally normal. While the new normal is going to be different in the sports industry, and the new normal is going to have to adapt in how we distribute content as well to the fans.
And if we look at adapting as well, so if we look globally, there is like Wuhan, for example, they have lightened some travel restrictions already, and it seems like the worst is out of the woods for them at the moment. And the rest of Europe and the US is obviously playing catch up now. Are you able to identify certain areas of the world that might come out of this sooner and might impact the sport industry sooner?
Yeah, I mean, we have actually our biggest markets are Asia. Our biggest clients, partners are Korean, Japan, Chinese. And I actually luckily for me, I spent 1 month in Korea in November and 1 month in Singapore in December. So we came back earlier. Otherwise, would have been a bit tough. But there is few things that we see. First of all, Asian culture, Asian community are much more disciplined than Westerners. So Asia will succeed more in embracing and fighting this crisis, because they are just built for that, and their government are built for that. In Europe, at least in the Western world, it's not true. And we Westerners, we like to go against our government. So by definition, when they tell us something, we want to do the opposite. In Asia, it's slightly different, and especially when it's about health. Secondly, we do believe that technology is going to have a significant impact to improve and support the exit strategy. and the day after. And one of the things, for example, for us, we're gonna probably announce, I don't know if it's today or in the next few days, but we are working on a project, or not a project, a feature or a product, whatever, called Social Pass, which is a QR code mechanism where you are getting tested in an hospital or wherever it is legal in your country. And you get a digital certificate that is on a blockchain, and we help for that. We don't host that; it's a public-private partnership. But you, as a I wanted to say a user, but a sports fan, you're going to have a feature in your socials app, and the clubs are going to screen you, unfortunately, in like a sanitary belt that will be before the security belt before the stadium, allowing you to get into the stadium. So only at first people who have either be vaccinated, which will not happen anyway in the next 1 year because it doesn't exist yet, but rather are immune, which means that have been exposed to it, even though it was they didn't have any symptoms. But it means that most likely, and it's horrible to think about it, yes, but it will happen as well, because we do think that this is needed to help the sports industry to get back, to help the fans to get back as well. And as we know, sports is the opium of the people. You want to have your sports fix either on TV or either in real life. And if we can help this to happen again in a sooner than later, the better it is for the economy and for the society, actually. So we are working on that. We're working even here in Malta. We are working. We are pitching the government. We're talking with a couple of strategic partners to make this happen on a broader level in Malta. Because again, it's very selfish. I want to get out. So what can I do, and what can our team do to help this to happen? And if we don't need it, perfect. If we need it, better be ready before.
And I'm sure a lot of our fellow people that are watching will also agree that they also want to get out. So thank you so much for the hard work you're doing. It sounds like you've been very busy indeed. And also for talking with us today and sharing some of your project plans. I really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's all from us here. We'd love to hear how you found this segment. Have you been impacted by COVID-19? And do you have any comments? Drop us a comment in the comment box below, and stay tuned next week for our next episode.